Hello, and welcome to the next unit in American history. This one is called the Gilded Age, and it's the same time frame that we've been dealing with industrialization, but it's a different focus. Instead of looking at how we became an industrial nation and the wealthy businessmen, we're going to flip the script and we're going to look more at some of the problems that industrialization created and look at immigration in America. Let's get going. First off, it's called the Gilded Age. If you don't know what something that's gilded is, gilded means it's gold on the outside, but the inside is decidedly not gold. Usually it's rotten or something like that, right? You can gild anything. You can just dip the pen in gold and it's a gilded pen. But in this time frame, it's coined by Mark Twain, the popular author, wrote a book called The Gilded Age. It's a tale of our times, right? It basically is this, right? Industrialization is, yes, bringing new wealth and prosperity. It is increasing the standard of living. But under the surface, it's more characterized by wealth that has come from greed, corruption, and at the expense of the impoverished. Okay, one of the major moving forces in this time frame, both a cause of industrialization and one of the people that have to deal with the effects of it, are immigrants. Okay, so immigration in the Gilded Age. Two vocab words that we need to know right off the bat. Okay, a push factor is something that causes an immigrant to leave their homeland. It pushes them out, right? A pull factor is something that draws an immigrant to a new land, right? It pulls them in, it attracts them. Okay, all right, so here is a list, right? It's examples of push factors in the late 1800s. One of the major push factors worldwide was disease, right? You see a lot of people getting sick from a variety of infections all over the world, and they want to come to the United States where we have less of that, but we also have better healthcare options and that kind of stuff then as well, right? Which is this picture right here. They're getting an eye exam, a bunch of immigrants at Ellis Island, right? Getting an eye exam. Okay. Now, if they were found to have a disease, they would be turned away and they'd be sent back. They wouldn't be killed like the kids from first quarter thought. Anyway, so they'd just be sent back. Okay. All right. Now, other push factors. Okay. A new vocab word here: population pressure. All right. Vocab word. Make sure we're getting that. Population pressure is there's too many people, overpopulation, okay? And so when you have too many people in a small area, you have famine and a lack of resources, but you also have a lack of jobs because you have more competition with others, right? So they are leaving. They're trying to go to a place with more opportunity where they can escape some of these things, right? And that leads to poverty, right? There's high poverty in these nations. They're getting out. Okay, and then they're also trying to escape war. Okay, especially the draft. That's another word for that is conscription or mandatory service. So these leaders are waging war, trying to gain territory and money, but that's not ever happening for the everyman, right? So they're just trying to escape that. That's a battle they don't want to fight. We see this a lot today. We look at like immigration in 2020, right? A lot of the push factors are the same, right? If we look at the Syrian refugee crisis that we had recently, okay, they're escaping war. Okay, they're escaping ISIS and tyrants. All right. If we look at a lot of immigration from South America, right, it has to deal with poverty, and they're looking for jobs. Okay, so this is a human thing that goes across, the United States forever. It goes across the world. All right. Understanding this a little bit can kind of help us understand like the human experience. Okay. Tyrants who are waging these wars are also trying to pay for them with oppressive taxation. So if you did have a job, you did make money, or you had a farm and you had a field, like your resources are being stripped from you. Okay, so it makes no sense to stay. And then lastly, we see like, whoops, got a little ahead of myself there. We see religious discrimination. This is particularly true in Eastern Europe and Russia with the discrimination against Jewish people. It's not just a World War II thing. It's not just a Hitler thing. Okay, anti-Semitism existed long before, and it still exists, and it's a push factor. Okay, pull factors. All right, things that are drawing people to the United States in the Gilded Age. industrialization is the big one, right? We have a higher standard of living because of industrialization. We also have jobs, right? And so that's going to be a big draw. This is the land of opportunity. Okay. In America, we also have a unique situation where we have an opportunity for social and economic advancement. What that means is you can climb social ladders. So if you take a place like India, for example, with the caste system, if you're born into a family, you're in that bracket socially and economically the rest of your life, right? There's no opportunity to move up. If you're born into the lower caste, you are there because it's kind of tied up with religious aspects but political aspects as well, and that's it. Well, in America, you can be born into poverty. You can theoretically get yourself out of poverty, right? You can be born into one social class and move up or move out. That's appealing. All right. We also have plenty of cheap land. You're going to see this a lot of immigrants, especially with James J. Hill's Railroad up in the northern United States and northwestern United States. This area right here, right, we have a large German population, right? That's an immigration thing. Okay, and then democratic governments and freedoms, right? We have a democracy, not the Democratic political party, but an idea of the popular sovereignty, right? People are in power. So we have democratic government and we have freedom, like religious freedoms, that make it attractive. Okay, so that's immigration, push and pull factors, right there. Just to read, vocab word, vocab word, vocab word, vocab word, and all of these things you got to memorize. Okay, there's quite a bit in this. So normally in class we'd stop, we'd review, we'd hammer at home, we'd review again tomorrow. We're not gonna do that because I'm a video and I can't stop you and make you review. So stop, press pause,